Hey kiddos. Today we are reading the Egyptian Cinderella. So this book is similar to the normal Cinderella that we read, but this version was written inside Egyptian. I see in Egypt. So this is an Egyptian version of the story. It says, long ago, in the land of Egypt, where the green Nile River widens to meet the blue sea, there lived a maiden named Rhodopis. So here's Rhodopis. This is our maiden or girl. This is her. When she was still a small child, Rhodopis had been sold by pirates. She was snatched from her home in Greece, taken across the sea to Egypt, and there sold as a slave. So this means that she is from Greece. Greece is her home country, and people took her and made her a slave, esclavo, in Egypt. Like the Egyptian servant girls, so these girls are Egyptian and they're servants. So she is a slave from Greece and they are servants from Egypt. Rhodopis went to the water's edge each day to wash clothes or to gather the reeds. These are reeds, these plants from the water that grew along the riverbank. But Rhodopis looked different from the other girls. Their eyes were brown, and hers were green. Their hair was straight, while the breeze blew hers into tangles. So you see their hair is very straight, hers gets messy. Their skin glowed like copper, but her pale skin turned red underneath the sun. That was how she got her name, for Rhodopis meant rosy-cheeked, or to have red cheeks, in Greek. Rosy Rhodopis scoffed at the servant girls, hissing her name between their teeth. Rhodopis pretended not to hear them. She could not hear them, but she blushed rosier than ever. So the servant girls are not being very nice to Rhodopis. So next page. We have the master or the servant, the master. Okay. It says, although her master was kind, he was old and liked to doze beneath a fig tree. So he liked to sleep. They say he is nice, but he sleeps a lot. He seldom heard the servant girls tease Rhodopis. He never saw them ordering her about. Hurry, Rhodopis, they would shout at her. The geese are in the garden eating up the onions. Mend my robe, fix my clothes. I'm hungry, Rhodopis. Bake the bread. Rhodopis always hurried to do their bidding, for the Egyptian girls were household servants, and she was only a slave. So here, the girls are telling her what to do. You can see them pointing their fingers, and she is listening to them because they are servants and she is only a slave. Rhodopis found friends among the animals instead. Instead, birds ate crumbs from her hands. She coaxed a monkey to sit upon her shoulder. See, she has a monkey on her shoulder. And she is feeding the birds. Sometimes, when her chores were done and the day had cooled, Rhodopis would dance. I can see her dancing for her animal friends. She twirled so lightly that her tiny bare feet scarcely touched the ground. One evening, her master awakened. So here's the master, and he wakes up from sleeping, and he goes, oh, her dancing is beautiful. No goddess is more nimble, he called out. Such a gift deserves a reward. un premio. He tugged his whiskers, thinking, and then declared, "You shall be barefoot no longer." He goes, "A beautiful dancer needs shoes." So here she is. Her master ordered a pair of beautiful shoes be made especially for Rhodopis. The soles were gilded with rose red gold. Now, when Rhodopis danced, her feet sparkled like fireflies. So he got her these very beautiful red and gold slippers. What do you think the girls think about this? The Egyptian servant girls were jealous. So these girls are jealous about the shoes. Out of spite, they found new tasks for her to do, keeping Rhodopis so busy that she was too tired to dance. So they are making her do so much work. That way she cannot dance in her beautiful shoes. One evening, Kippa, so here's Kippa, Kippa, who was chief among the servant girls, announced, "Tomorrow we will go see the Pharaoh." The Pharaoh is the leader in Egypt. It's almost like the president. The Pharaoh. He is going to hold court for all his subjects. That means he's going to have a party or an event for everyone to go to. There will be musicians and dancing, said another servant girl, eyeing the red rose slippers. There will be feasting. That means eating a lot. Poor Rhodopis, you cannot go to the court of the Pharaoh, Kippo jeered. You need to wash the clothes and weed the garden. The next morning, just as Ra the sun was climbing into the sky, the girls left to see the Pharaoh. They were in a raft, so they need to take a boat. You can see the girls taking a boat to go see the Pharaoh. But Rhodopis cannot go. Rhodopis sighed and turned to the basket piled high with dirty clothes. Wash the clothes, weed the garden. The hippopotamus, here's a hippopotamus, tired of so dull a tune, pushed out of the reeds and splashed into the river. So he is splashing, the hippopotamus is splashing, and he splashes her shoes, and Rhodopis has to take off her shoes. She polished the shoes on her clothes, then she carefully put the shoes next to the river to dry. While Rhodopis is working, a great falcon, this is a falcon, a great falcon, the symbol of the god Horus. So in Egypt, they thought that he was a god, or he's a symbol of a god, circled the sky with wings spread so wide that they blotted out the sun. "Greetings to you, proud Horus," Rhodopis murmured. She bowed her head and felt a rush of air on the back of her neck. Uh-oh, what is the eagle doing, or the falcon doing? Here's our falcon, and he is taking the shoes. So here she is. She's reaching up. She's trying to get her shoes. When Rhodopis dared to lift her eyes, she saw the falcon soar away. Dangling from his talons was one of her beautiful shoes. "Stop," she said. "Come back." But the bird did not listen. He flew to the sun until she could not see him anymore. Now she only had one shoe. The falcon took the other. After Rhodopis had lost sight of the falcon, so the bird, flew to see the Pharaoh. Here's the Pharaoh. So he's going to this party, to this event, and the falcon has gone to see the Pharaoh. This guy, the important one, is the Pharaoh, and his name is Amasis.